Welcome, guys, to another Prowler podcast tonight. As always, I'm your host, Preston Pritchard. But tonight, guys, we got Jalen Fisher on the podcast. He's a former basketball player at TCU in Grand Canyon, but also from the same high school I went to here in Memphis called Bolton High School. So you were a four-star coming out of Bolton, right, Jalen?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, man. But Jalen brings a lot of good story from his recruiting story from, once being kind of just another talented player, kind of flying underneath the radar. Jalen quietly turned heads and began stacking off as his junior season, guys. So he brings a lot of good insight all the way from his journey in college, where he transferred from TCU to Grand Canyon due to injuries and stuff. So with that to be said, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Jalen before we dive into tonight's podcast. But Jalen, you can go ahead and introduce yourself if you like to, man.
What's going on, y'all? Jalen Fisher, former team dad, Bolton, TCU alumni. Came out 2016. Left college 2019. I played in a couple places like Mexico, Bulgaria. I played for the Mad Ants a couple games. Just kind of experience with it.
That's awesome, man. Not many people get to come out of Memphis and have a journey like you do. A lot of them throw it away early. So
Yeah.
We've seen too many do it that we went to school with. But that kind of jumps into tonight's first segment, Jalen, is the shift we've seen in the Memphis athletics. We've seen it used to be a lot of public high school dominance, but now it's shifting to private school dominance in the city, right? And from your perspective, what do you think has caused the spotlight of Memphis athletics across the board to shift so heavily from public schools to private schools?
Money, politics. Back then, these kids, like, they can accept money now. You know what I mean? And, like, it's probably nothing for a private school or like whoever. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, back then, they was real strict on that. You know what I mean? Like, we couldn't have like a brand or nothing. Like now they get NIL deals. I feel like it's more about the money now. It ain't more about like I don't know, like putting like real teams together.
Yeah, no, for sure. You don't really see a team staying together for longer than a year anymore. It's just it's not seen. It's unheard of.
That's unheard of. Yeah.
And this is not in the script tonight or one of the questions tonight, but Tennessee just recently ruled that any sports athlete at high school in Tennessee can transfer one time and not sit out for a year. And with that being said, if that opens a whole nother door of can of worms now, because you got a player that could be going into his junior or senior season, not looking to be a starter at Bolton, but could transfer to Millington to be a starter. So there's gonna be a lot of different dynamics with that coming down the pipe now.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of pros and cons with it, but I don't know, man. It's more cons than anything because it just teaches players to like just leave when it get hard. You know what I'm saying? Like they just don't know how to stick with it, or I don't know, man. I feel like back then how we had it, where it just made the options like we had less options to to quit. You know what I mean? I feel like they got too many options to you know what I mean, to go out these
Well,
other different.
it's just like you said, if it gets hard on the athlete or they're not getting what they want, it's like they just transfer the next day. It's like, okay, you don't want to put me in my position, then there's no fight for it no more. You know that, and that's why we see this culture kind of shift into this soft culture. We don't see people as tough as they used to be. And that's across the
Absolutely.
board in everything in life. So
Yeah, everything, like definitely, just money driven, social media, politics. You know, it's a lot to play into basketball than just playing basketball right there.
no, for sure, for sure. And that kind of jumps into our next question is how do you think this shift is going to impact exposure, recruiting opportunities, and confidence for these public school athletes that might not be able to have the opportunity to go to private school?
I feel like, man, if you putting in the work, I feel like I don't feel like it's no different. Like, we went to Bolton, so like we in the middle of nowhere. So it's just like if you got talent, they're gonna come find you. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean? I feel like if you like in these public school settings, I think you should look forward to any big games with these private schools. You know what I'm saying? And try to take advantage just like that. But I feel like if you ball, you know what I mean? I feel like wherever you at, they're gonna come look at you.
Yeah, no, they will. They'll hear about it. I mean that's why if we look at in football this past year, look at Southwind. Southwind's never been known for football, but that team stuck together, and now majority of them seniors, but they had 6 4-stars that committed today on a day. So I think that speaks volume. Even though public schools they might be weakening in some ways, but they're also can strengthen back in some ways. I think it all depends on leadership as well. If you got a good coach is leading you, that can shape a lot of things.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And I really haven't been keeping up with too much college sports now that I've been kind of like away from moving a little bit. So I mean, a lot of just kind of new to me.
Well, I could tell you this: Bolton basketball ain't the same no more. So I mean, Jalen, I tell everybody, when I was living in Huntsville, Alabama, they all would tell me, "Oh man, come to the basketball games." Man, the games down there are just so much different than compared to what we grew up here in Memphis with. Ain't the same. It's not the same. I mean, you remember the games at Bartlett? The gym be over the brim, couldn't even fit no more people in there, and fights be breaking down the stands. It'd be balls to the wall the whole time, man.
Yeah, and then, it's so crazy. It was a lot of teams like that, and it was so divided out to where like the talent was just so grand in Memphis. Like you could really just go in any gym and just watch a hell of a night between two teams. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't like you could just, you know what I mean? You just really had to pick and choose. Hell yeah, man. There was some different times. Okay.
No, it was definitely. I mean, this past year, Coach Marshall is a football coach, and I went out there because I was a football guy and went out there and watched football. And I'm like, man, it's like crickets in the stands. Ain't nobody here no more. It's not the same, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
See,
Now you
because
go.
things have shifted inside the city. Go ahead.
No. I was about to say I went to one game I think like last year. I don't know if it was like I ain't gonna say the tank. I don't want to throw my nothing, but it was just really like a couple fans and really just a cameraman. And I was just like, damn, what the cameraman? You know what I'm saying? Like this was the game coming to. Like this is crazy.
It's sad to see that high school take that shift, but we've seen several high schools in the Memphis area that's taken that shift. But luckily for Bartlett, they've taken the step forward and they keep producing after talent lately. They got Dylan Jones this year, which is making his rounds on TikTok right now. I don't know if you've seen it. He's got a highlight reel that's went pretty public now. So
What's his name?
Dylan Jones.
Dylan Jones. He played for Bartlett.
He just now got he went from a 4-star to a 5-star this past weekend on 247 Sports. So he's getting a lot of hype from that. And then he went down to the Huntsville Classic in Alabama and completely bulldozed all through the talent there. And then they beat some prep school the other day that they were not supposed to beat. And he dropped 48 on them. So
yeah. And Bartlett, a public school, right?
yeah, Bartlett's public.
Yeah, see, that's what you got to do.
Hey, it's but talking about all of this, and you see Bartlett still prospering, and you see like Whitehaven is still prospering in basketball. What does it take for Memphis Public Schools to reclaim kind of that national attention and recruiting buzz that we used to have?
Man, it's so much that play into it, because we can say man, I wouldn't know where to start, to be honest, because I've seen, just kind of the worst, like kind of just the worst of it. So I wouldn't I've seen kids like, man, like I feel like it's bad now. Kids vape before school. And kids like Memphis is different. Like I wouldn't know where to start, to be honest. But like probably a strong head coach, like a Coach Carter type of guy. You know what I'm saying? To really lay down discipline. Don't care what come with it. You know what I'm saying? Cause that's really all they need. Like, man, I feel like right now I think I'm just too young to coach. I don't think I'll be I don't know.
Well, they could definitely use someone to energize them at Bolton's basketball. I mean, I've been keeping up with their record. It looks like they're off to an okay start in district, but definitely not off to what used to be what the norm was. And but and it's crazy. You go to that gym. We had 2 levels on each side of that new gym, and I don't even know if they push open the top levels anymore.
Damn, that's wild. And but my bad. But what's crazy? What's crazy is Bolton always keeps some talent. Like even though like it's like might be a little shaky or whatnot, but man, it's at least 4 to 5 kids on that team. You know what I mean? They can go somewhere else and definitely start. You know what I'm saying? And just, yeah.
Yeah, no, they got a shooting guard this year from what Coach Marshall said. He's supposed to be he's a sophomore this year, but he's supposed to start gaining some attention. So hopefully he stays there because Millington just opened up a prep school and it's gone nationwide. It's pretty popular now. It's called a Tennessee Collegiate Academy, and they built a big campus out there in Millington now, and they've got 3 players that came in from California and several others, man. So, and they took 2 players from Bartlett, took a player from Bolton last year. So, you got that kind of dynamic now coming into the county. That's going to shape a lot of things as well. So,
man, I must be living under a bridge.
Yeah, I'll have to send it to you after we get all the podcast. But yeah, I'm definitely going to go check out one of their games because they play at Tipton Rosemark Academy right now until they get their gym finished. So it's just right up the street from where we grew up. But definitely want to go check them out because I mean they just beat Chris Paul's team and the team that LaMelo played for. I can't remember the team's name that he played for out there in Cali.
What? The LaMelo twins, the ball.
Yeah. So they got some pretty good talent, but they're pulling a lot of talent out of the a lot of these high schools here in Memphis that were the top dogs there at these high schools. So, but with that being said, Jalen, we talked a lot about the Memphis sports, but we're going to talk more about your journey now and kind of your reflection on everything. So, looking back on your college journey, what's one thing you think you would have done differently now, knowing what you do?
You said one thing I would have done differently.
Yeah.
Oh, I probably would have. I probably would have just maybe stuck it out at TCU.
Yeah.
Like just
Anyway,
like with the injuries and all type of with all the other stuff. You know, I was. You know, I think I was like what 20, 21. I think I was going on like my 6, 7 injury. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
And like shit, it was just I don't know a lot of emotion going into it. So you basically just be tired. You think you be getting really, you know what I mean? That might just be some testing you, you know what I'm saying? Just to get to that next
Yep.
level.
No, that's for sure. But I mean, this is not really on the topic tonight. But how was it playing for Gary Dixon, one of the, possibly one of the Hall of Fame coaches one day?
You talking about Jamie Dixon?
Yeah, Jamie Dixon.
Man, Jamie Dixon, probably like the best coach I ever played for. Like I didn't know I didn't know to like I didn't know like a lot of stuff like that came with basketball. Like he really showed like as a basketball player, like it's an answer to every defense. Like uh it's an answer to every defense. You know what I'm saying? That this coming at you. Like he'll never like just put you in a bad position to where like you couldn't you couldn't shine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he definitely, had you guys on the cusp of a lot of potentially big time performances in the March Madness, bracket. But it did seem like it always was that injury bug that you and several other players did get injured at the same time every time y'all got ready to make that push. So
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like his coaching was amazing. Like the way he put people in position and like the X's and O's, like it's ridiculous. Like I didn't know like like when I was coming out of high school, I used to just think like he had the dribble and you know what I mean, force a lot of stuff and like bro, he just like man, let the game come to you. You know what I'm saying? Just play your game, shoot your shots.
yep,
I mean, you can't. I mean, how can I be bad at you? You know what I'm saying? For
yep,
playing your game.
that's awesome, man. So taking that experience and everything, what advice look now, playing underneath Jamie Dixon, would you give to current high school athletes, navigating their recruiting, especially those who feel that they're being overlooked possibly?
Say that one more time.
What advice would you give to current high school athletes that are navigating the recruiting process of potentially going to these big time schools like a TCU or Tennessee or something, but what should they humble themselves on when they make that decision?
Uh, man, just know, man, you just gotta come out here. Like you just really gotta like just act like you don't know anything and just absorb everything. You know what I'm saying? Like because you coming to a whole new level. So you really don't know nothing. You know what I mean? Like the plays you thought you could take off and you know what I'm saying? Like it's just a different intensity here. It's way faster. So I
Yeah,
just feel like man, come in like you don't know too much. Absorb everything, you know what I mean? Be around the kids that you know what I mean, stay in the gym. You know what I mean? Just try to stay on a much positive tip as possible.
no, for sure, because your daily habits and your mindset would affect a lot of things down the road if you have the wrong mindset going in, and a lot of players do nowadays, but because now with NIL, I mean, coming out of high school, if you got NIL money thrown at us, we would have probably been thinking the same way. But these players are getting this money thrown at them. That's all they're thinking about is how much money can I get, not instead of what can I do for the team and how can I grow and better myself to potentially go pro maybe one day.
Yeah, and they don't even understand the money. The money was good. The money gonna come. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as they just playing their part and trying to figure out ways for the team to win, you know what I mean? They deal to come. You know, it'll be never be none of be forced. Nothing.
No, that's for sure. But jumping tonight's spotlight, Jalen, again towards the end of the podcast, our spotlight is kind of on break it down. You're pretty much your transfer story in college basketball. Your decision to commit to Grand Canyon University, which has been on the map for a while now, especially in basketball. Just recently, Tyrone Grant Foster was the major name that came out of there. That's not Gonzaga, but through all your injuries, setbacks, and highs and lows, what went into the decision that ultimately made you leave TCU? Was it your injury, or was it just wanting a new environment?
Man, it was basically everything. Like when when I was getting injured, a lot of probably the last time, like I was just kind of fed up. Like I wouldn't say I was getting brought back early or nothing, but I don't think like they was like kind of taking their time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like just making like just the right decisions because it was always kind of just repetitive. And I don't know, I just didn't feel like the people that was supposed to kind of have my back. You know what I mean? Just you know what I mean? It's a lot to go into it, but I don't want to act like I'm crying about it or nothing. But it's just yeah, I just
No,
injuries.
I totally understand. Injuries can definitely be a tough thing, and sometimes you rush your own self back. Through football. I'm sure I played through a couple concussions I shouldn't have, and we look at Antonio Brown and wonder why he's got CTE. Well, he didn't want to sit out, so that's prime example. So, but
Yeah, but my last year I set myself out. I was just it was getting to the point where like shit, I barely could walk. You know what I'm saying? And then like I went. I was there like it was getting to the point like I was just practicing. Like I wasn't even practicing. Like I was just playing games. Like they was just telling me like just come to the game. Like
was that at Grand Canyon or TCU, man?
nah, that was at TCU.
Oh wow, that's pretty that's pretty wild. That's like some Dennis Rodman stuff when he would go to Vegas and come back and be like, yeah, just show up to the games. As long as you have the games, we're good.
For real, I was averaging 4 threes a game. I was on one leg. They was like, man, just come to the game. I was just like, all right.
Man, that's crazy. So, but when you made the decision to transfer to GCU, you had several other schools that you were looking into, like New Mexico, Buffalo. But what specifically made Grand Canyon University stick out?
Oh, Dan Marley. And like it was just like the whole little setup. Like I just seen they had like a couple good wings. The competition in the dish in the what's that in the conference. I don't think it was just too strong. Me coming from the Big 12, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was just looking like I was just finna go somewhere and dominate. And you know what I'm saying? It was just something for me to I don't know, just because I wanted to play point guard.
Yeah.
At TCU, they wanted me to run the two. And so GCU was promised me that I was gonna run the point guard position. So I was just like, all right.
Yeah, that definitely makes a factor when you get to play the position you want, So that's pretty
Absolutely.
awesome. But, how much did you get to play your last year at GCU?
I didn't get to play my last year.
You got injured again before your season ended, right?
I got ruled ineligible.
Gotcha. So, with that, I'm sure that affected your mindset, and not to go into details of that, but what would you tell a player if they do get ruled ineligible due to something like that?
Man, I can't really say nothing I didn't do, but I would just say stay down because I've seen when the players have stayed down, and it turned out good for them. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
like, man, just stay down, and if that's really what you want to do it. You know what I mean? And don't let nothing discourage you.
No, for sure, for sure. That's totally true. You battle adversity all the time through injuries, through mistakes we make. Outside of it, but it also, in the end, helps shape your work ethic and mindset to go forward. Even once the ball drops or the football comes down. Because one day
Absolutely.
the ball will drop. It's not going to always keep bouncing for you. So got to be ready for what real life comes after that. And a lot of players are not ready for what that reality is.
Yeah, I was one of them.
It's it's definitely a tough awakening, man. Once it stops, man, you get out and you're like, man, it's not. You don't got all the fans in your ear. I mean, I played at a small college school, but you don't got all the fans. You don't got all the, possible free things
Absolutely.
underneath the table that you're getting from other people. It just
Absolutely.
it's crazy. So
Absolutely.
and
All
now,
that.
especially nowadays. With us being an NIL agency at the Prowler as well, well, we try to encourage our college athletes that we have that are NIL players. We tell them, man, try every financial way to save this money that you're earning, because
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're making like 6 million a year off of NIL, there's no reason that when you go pro, you shouldn't be already almost a billionaire.
Nah, for real. If they would have, man, they would have gave me that money. I ain't gonna lie. Like me knowing how I am now, I honestly think I probably would have. Nah, hell no. Nah, hell no. I had to go through so many life lessons to know this. I probably would have blew through some money myself because you know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
coming too fast. You know what I mean. We can say what we'll do, but you know what I mean. We looking at how we looking and we leave the gym and you know what I mean. Man, we can get another check. You know what I mean. We got years to come. So you ain't thinking. You probably won't be thinking. You know what I mean. How I'm thinking now.
Yeah, no, correct. I mean, maturity kicks in for men a lot later, right? I mean, it's the face of it, I mean, when I was in college, football was paying for me, so my parents were giving me money. I
Mhm.
can't lie. There were things I was doing with that money that didn't need to be done with it, So when I
Yeah.
talk to these younger players, I'm like, man, just know it is fun while it lasts, but it's not always going to be. Just make sure you're making smart choices when you're doing those actions, because it could make a life changing event out of you. You could potentially, what my coach always said in college is, a blazer doesn't let a blazer die. And he meant that physically, because, he knew what we were doing outside of there.
Yeah.
So you don't let your teammates go die, man. And that goes back to, when you're work on your work ethic and your mindset. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with people that think the same way as you are.
And
That's
I
a
was
crucial part.
and I was just about to and I was just about to say that. Make sure you know what I mean. Your team. You know what I mean. Your team matters so much. You know what I mean, and making sure you keeping you know what I mean yourself like aligned with God and like just I don't know like a lot of the stuff now that I stopped hooping, I wish I kind of would have knew when I was. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's like out of the game all this sense when I got done hooping. I don't know. It's weird, but yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
that's so true, man. But getting to the end of this, man, it's been a good talk tonight, and a lot of good history and good talk about the city of Memphis and everything. Which a lot of good ball to come around still in the city, but it's still a hard place to get recruited out of. If you don't have help, it's one of the most difficult large cities to get recruited out of, and it's been Penny Hardaway has stated it as well. But
Yeah.
what do you believe is so hard to get recruited out of Memphis today? Is it lack of exposure and visibility? Is it recruiting politics and on who you know? Is it limited guidance on the process, or is it just an overcrowded talent pool and competition now?
Uh, it's all about who you know. Politics, in that in that high school field, you know what I mean? you really do need to try your best. You know what I mean? Try to get on one of these teams that can just get you. You know what I mean? Get you looked at, get you out in front of some coaches. You know what I mean? So you can perform. Because like I don't know, man. Like how many AAU teams is it out there? Like what? It's really like what? Team Penny, Team
Yeah,
ASC.
yeah, Team Penny, Team Thad, the Memphis Tigers that's owned by Mike Miller, still out there. There's a couple other, that's been floated around for a little while. But I think those are the main three is Team Penny, Team Thad, and the Memphis Tigers.
Yeah. So the AAU scene ain't nothing like how it used to be, where like just regular teams can like you go what like college coaches be watching. You know what I mean? It's just
Yep.
you know what I mean. I don't know. I remember how it was when I was kind of coming up, and I'm pretty sure it was like on like the who you know tip.
Yeah, well, I definitely have seen a big shift, and this is only a basketball. This doesn't go for football, baseball, but basketball specifically. I've seen a big shift when if the player is going to be a 4 or 5 star going into his junior year, they're going to go to prep school. It just bound to happen. I mean, we have a
Mm,
basketball player that's out of South Carolina that just transferred to a prep school in Florida, and it just, I mean, he's entering his junior year, but he's already got 22 D1 offers. So it's a big trend going on right now, and I think that's why Memphis. I don't know who formed that organization up in Millington, but I think that's why Memphis created the prep school they did because he saw the trend going around and they wanted to beat Nashville to the punch, and they did. So,
mm. Yeah, that's a lot of business going around. There's a
well,
lot
that's
of business.
politics, man. That's politics at its finest, just like you said. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. It ain't gonna stop either.
no, man. Hey, politics make the world go around, right? Sadly, but
Absolutely,
so.
absolutely.
But Jalen, coming to the end of the night, do you got anything to say to the guests tonight, or any of the athletes that might watch this podcast or that might have been watching?
Uh, man, man, keep God first, and if it's for you, it's for you. You know what I mean? Work hard. You know what I mean? Have faith, and just let the rest come.
No, that's for sure, man. And that's kind of like our weekly quote for the podcast this week, which is by Penny Hardaway. There's a lot of people who came out of adverse situations and made it, but use it as motivation. Use it to drive you and don't quit. So I think
Absolutely,
that speaks volume exactly to what you just said. So,
absolutely. Man. That was a good
but man,
talk.
thank you, Jalen, for coming on tonight. It's been good talking to you. And but that's going to wrap up tonight's podcast, man. And look forward to seeing your clothing brand now continue to take off, man.
Okay, bet. I appreciate you, boss.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to get some merchandise on the Prowler website one day. So we'll have to definitely look into that, man. So, but we've enjoyed today's episode, guys. As always, stay locked in with us. We're always trying to amplify voices that deserve to be heard, just like Jalen's tonight. But also, anybody that's in the 901 area, it's not just a time to step back and think it's that we're fading in the athletic world of things, because Nashville is making a big push, but Memphis high school athletics still has produced the most 4 to 5 stars in the past 3 years. So just remember that, guys, and keep supporting and promoting and believing in the talent that lives in our own backyard as in the 901 area, guys. So, but as always, stay connected, stay driven, and keep chasing towards your dreams, guys, because we cannot wait to see what's next. But as always, guys, Prowler up and see you guys next week.
All right, boss man.